How's it hanging? How's it happening? Because you guys know who it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. Hey guys, it is Thursday, February 17th. I want to wish a big happy birthday to my Faja because today is his 63rd birthday. So happy birthday, Dad. I know you're not listening to this podcast, but I really don't care because happy birthday, man. So we got one hell of a podcast episode for you today with that Still Panicking from Ashes to New, Fire from the Gods, Blind Channel, Kim Collapse, and Above Snakes. We've had two of those bands in the podcast for. Now, time for number 3. Before we jump in, I want to thank our sponsors. First, Phoenix Fitness. Yes, we're halfway through February. We're getting towards the end of winter. And, if you're constantly going to the gym, your New Year's resolution's on a kick, or you want to get back into the gym, get going again, absolutely. Make it happen. Do it for you. Do it for, whatever reason you have to do it. Whether it's to pump our little weights and be strong like Arnold, yeah. Or to look good and be like, hey, got a beach body, yeah. Or just do whatever the heck you want to do it with. Or be like me, and it's just like you love to work out because at that time it just kind of clear your mind and everything, and focus on just how much more you have to run, how much more you have to bike, or how heavy it is the thing you have to lift, and how many times. But one thing you want to be able to do is recover right, prepare right, so that your body is able to work at maximum capacity when you're working out, so you can continually go and achieve every single fitness goal you have. That's where Phoenix Fitness comes in. They have many different products such as different pre-workouts, both stimulant and stim-free. Is the stim-free stuff because I'm crazy enough as it is, you guys. On top of it, they have different B-cell recovery compounds to help you recover right. Different proteins that help you build muscle for AM, PM, and after workout. Also vegan and collagen proteins for everybody. Creatines help you build muscle. Multivitamins, anything you need to help achieve your fitness goals, Phoenix Fitness has for you. So our listeners of the podcast and viewers on YouTube, hey guys, you get 15% off at fnxfit.com, fnxfit.com. I want to make sure I said that. Using the code MSOTD at checkout, link description below. Thank you, Phoenix Fitness. Second is custom debuts. So what does custom debuts do? Well, you want a cool poster for your rec room or garage or, office. Be the coolest person, right? And have it around music, but you want to make it something that no one else has that you have. That's where custom debuts comes in. So you give an artist, any artist you want. Let's say it's Above Snakes or Ice Nine Kills or King Claps or Falling Reverse, 36 Mars. And you give them either an album that you like or a song that you like. And they'll create a custom poster off that album artwork and that track list or off of that song with lyrics, anything you might want to have done. You can tell what you want done. And within 48 hours, an artist will come back to you with a proof of something that you can have done. If you don't like it, you can tell them what you want changed and they will change it for you. And then you can take it from there and create the best post possible. And when you like it, you give them the thumbs up and you give them sent to you in a wood frame, or you can have it sent to you on poster paper as a canvas or as a full-on aluminum sign. Indestructible, yeah. So you guys can make that at customdebuts.com. Our listeners get 10% code, 10% off at custom debuts. Use the code CPP10 at checkout. Thank custom debuts, link description below. Now let's talk about this podcast, guys. We have Above Snakes on the podcast. They're opening the Still Panicking tour with From Ashes to New, Fire from the Gods, Blind Channel, and our dear friends in King Collapse. Gotta shout out Jonathan Norris right there. We talk about the band getting on this tour, their first full tour since forming in 2019, how they formed, how Johnny and Dax got together to form this band and go off and do their own thing and why they did it, how the pandemic helped the band really grow as well, and on top of that, what to expect next, especially with their new single, The Broken Ones, which is out as this podcast. Link for the YouTube video in the description below because we talk about the video as well. You're not going to want to miss out on it. I'm wearing a Cleaver clothing shirt because, well, horror tones, baby. And the video, horror. Actually, it's a weird Ice Nine Kills connection too because Ice Nine Kills shot a music video at the same location that these guys did. So, are you guys ready for this one? Hell yeah. Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast, as we're starting to get towards, the springtime tours of 2022, there's one tour that I absolutely have my eye on. It is the From Ashes to New tour with Fire from the Gods, Blind Channel, Kim Collapse, and this band right here. So if you get a chance to go and see that tour, these guys will be opening the tour, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on it, especially after listening to some of their music. Got a lot of rock and nu metal flair going on in there. It's something that you're going to really enjoy. Trust me on that. So please welcome Johnny and Dax from the band Above Snakes. So guys, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Guys, life is going just fine right now. How's everything on your end?
Good. Trying to stay warm, Get ready for this dope-ass tour.
It is an absolutely insane tour. And I've already told you guys, I'm seeing this show multiple times because, well, I'm having you guys on the podcast. Kim Collapse has been on the podcast. Masters U's been on the podcast. I've got one upcoming with Blind Channel. So it's for me, this is a tour where I can't miss this because of how awesome it is. Plus, I like every single band. I enjoy everyone's music. So this is just kind of like a dream come true when it comes to tours, especially after we went through the past years. It's like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Dude, it's like we feel the same exact way. We love all these bands. We listen to them. We're just fucking honored to be doing this, And that's our first fucking tour ever. We're stoked,
Your first tour ever, and you get on this bill. And after listening to your music, and then, of course, knowing the other bands that are on the tour, everything seems to flow so nicely with everybody's music, from you guys and the Keem Collapse Blind Channel, then Fire from the Gods, and, of course, the headliner from Ash to New. The flow of this tour already seems like, especially in my mind, something that is just perfectly made. So all the music kind of has, that same vibe, that same energy, different tastes every step of the way. But the energy is going to consistently start out high, and it's just going to build every step of the way till we get to every single band. At the end of the night, we're going to be leaving these shows, with an energy hangover.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we're super stoked for it, man. Shit.
Hell yeah. So I got to ask this first question around this tour. How'd you guys get on this bill?
We submitted just like any other band would. They, I guess, got a lot of submissions, and we heard back probably like right before Christmas, and that we got chosen to open the package. And like you said, we're fucking stoked and we're honored.
Yeah, dude, the anticipation was fucking killer, but it's fucking happening, and we're stoked as fuck, you know?
Well, especially with the anticipation, just building up to this, especially like you said, this is your first tour, because I was looking through some of the stuff as well with you guys forming really in 2019. So, of course, then you get 2020 to come in, everything gets shut down. So, for this to be your first tour and have it be more of like this nationwide thing with some bands that have really grown over the course of the pandemic, and I got to point to from Ash specifically because they were getting to that point all of a sudden during the pandemic. They were putting out those covers, they released the single Panic, and then they just like everything went ape crazy for them. So I feel like especially with this tour, this is going to be one where a lot of people are going to end up coming out no matter what to see from Ash, but they're going to come early as well because, of course, they're going to know Fire from the Gods. They're going to probably know Blind Channel due to their Eurovision traction from 2020. But then also, you got great bands like you guys and Keem Collapse coming in. Who's not going to want to sit around and just enjoy this whole entire tour, this whole entire package on a multiple night basis if they can?
Yeah, for sure. Please come early. Like I said, we're opening it up, and it'll be a great night, especially like getting back into it. Like you were saying, everyone's been cooped up at home and all these issues and blah, blah, blah. And then things open up, and it's like kind of leans back. It's like, oh, people are getting sick. I don't know if I should go to this shit, but I think we're at a good point. You know what I mean? Like, let's fucking hang out. Let's rock out, have a few drinks, feel good,
Yeah, it's going to be great to get back on the road. Like, this is Above Snake's first tour, but Johnny and I have been in other bands and toured for years and years, and so we've been itching to get back on the road. Everything with COVID and everything halted it. So that's when we were planning all this, and when it hit, we released our first single, Adrenaline, right when the pandemic happened.
Right in the middle of that shit.
No touring could happen off like 3 or 4 songs, so now we're stoked finally.
Yep.
Do it.
Yep.
I do want to jump a little bit into that, but another thing when it comes to the whole entire tour as well, where, especially there's stuff going on with the pandemic, there's stuff going on with this Omicron variant. However, we're seeing other tours still happening right now during this time, and tours that have been rather successful. I'll bring up a couple. One, you've seen the tour with Falling in Reverse and Wage War. That's been a pretty big success going through. The only show I've seen so far this year as we're making this podcast has been Avatar when they've shown up in Milwaukee, and that place was packed. It's just something where ever since, live shows came back, people are dying to go and see these bands. People are dying to go and see shows because they miss the energy that they bring. They miss the whole entire family vibe, the camaraderie that comes with seeing a rock and metal show and just enjoying it. I've barely seen a show where, the room was nowhere, like the room is usually at least 3/4 full, even for bands that are just getting their footing as well, that are headlining some of these shows. So people are wanting to come out here, and especially you guys coming out in March, especially kind of more on the earlier side of like that end of winter, spring stuff. People are going to be itching to get back outside. People are going to be itching to go out and do something. And especially with the days that you guys are coming through, it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Can't fucking wait.
It's like I can already tell your guys' excitement. So starting out with something that you guys said you guys have been in bands for quite a long time, but with Above Snakes has been only a thing since 2019. So when it came to a lot of the previous experience, what did that come through to, form Above Snakes, and what was this whole entire story like to going from what you guys were previously doing to now doing this, especially together?
That's kind of what formed the whole thing. You know, I mean, we met way back on a tour. I was playing drums. I've always been a drummer, you know, and his band needed a drummer. So a photographer put us in touch, and they were like, yo, this kid's sick, you know, jump on the tour. His drummer was actually from another country. He was stuck at the airport, couldn't get in with a visa. He had like a school visa, right? And it was expired or some shit. So I jumped in, we met, we did the tour, you know, full US, whatever. It was great. And then we kind of like went our separate ways, did things. And I moved out to LA. I was playing for a bunch of different people. I had an extra room. So I was like, yo, Dax, why don't you move out here, dude? You know, so he was doing his thing out there. We were both doing separate things. And we just kind of got so fed up with playing for other people and like the egos and the fucking, man, lead singers are too much. You know what I'm saying? And it just got to the point where it's like, I'm hating what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Like I'm dreading going to practice, the thing that I fucking love, the thing I give everything for, you know what I mean? Move out here, try to do this thing for real. And it's just like, something's wrong. Something's got to give. So we just kind of like, fuck it. Let's start something new. Do what we want to do. You fucking sing. He's like, you know, 100% supporting me. And we fucking started that shit. We decided to move back to Boston because we're both from here. So we came back here and got the shit off the ground and recorded with Kyle Odell. And then we're about to release shit and pandemic hits. Like, shit, do we wait? But we don't know what's going on. We're like, let's just take this as a chance to, you know, put the music out, see what people think, and start doing these videos, which was kind of cool and a blessing in disguise because we got to film all these videos, you know, kind of DIY. And we like that shit. You know, we built the sets. We have the space that we can do that. And, you know, it was a great experience.
Damn, there's a lot to unpack there, and I kind of want to start.
So much, man. Holy shit.
I want to start back towards the beginning. So you guys are out. So this is, you know, you guys are out in LA, and there's a lot of things going on where you said you weren't enjoying what you were doing at that point, and there's a lot of people that have been at those situations where they did not like what they were doing, and a lot of the stuff that they were passionate about maybe got lost because of just things that was going on in their life, personal experiences, whatever it might have been. So when that happened, like, did you have to have like a certain moment of, do I still want to do this? Or did you have to try and or was it a moment that like built up motivation to continue to try and do something like this, but have this motivation to try something new and go out on your own and not try and stick within, you know, that like LA scene of like trying to maybe potentially make it the way that a lot of other bands have been making it and just kind of go your own way and figure it out on your own to make sure that you reclaim that passion once again?
Yeah, that was like, you know, it was just tough playing for those other people. And like I was saying, I was moving furniture, trying to survive just to live out there and, you know, have what we had and shit. And man, living out there is a whole nother book, dude. I got stories for days. You would die here. But, you know, with the music thing, it just got so hard. And like I was saying, you just didn't want to do it. And you'd be working all day and then going to do these practices and just like, shit, this sucks, man. And, until he moved out, he was doing things. He'd be in and out on tours and stuff. And then it just got to the point where he's like, you know, fucking quit your job. Let's just fucking do this thing. Let's write some stuff, make some connections, finish our thing here, and then go back to Boston. And that's when it really like took place. But that's like also kind of like what the name is. It's, you know, above snakes. It means, you know, it's an old Western term, above ground, you know, living like above the snakes. But it also is kind of like you got to rise above these people, you know, that made this shit so difficult and not want to do, you know, rise above that shit and create our own destiny, you know.
Well, because maybe in a way, you know, being above the snakes and just instead of following along with the destiny that maybe people are trying to prevent you from, because think about it, you go out to LA, everyone's trying to chase their dream out. Everyone's trying to chase dream of like fame, fortune, whatever it might be when it comes to the entertainment industry. Using music specifically, there's a lot of people there, and just with how many other, you know, the established, you know, venues, the established promoters, the established record companies are out there, it seems like they kind of have a stranglehold on how things are done and how things are progressed when it comes to bands growing. So then all of a sudden, you know, take a look at what's happened over the past, you know, 10, 20 years with the digital era. I mean, Napster started the whole entire thing. Then all of a sudden you get like iTunes. Everyone remembers LimeWire and, you know, getting this horrible viruses on your computer. Then streaming, just the ability to just reach different people with your music and try many different things and not have to worry about, you know, what the other bands in the area or what the music scene in the area is kind of trying to force you to do, what other people are trying to force you, what managers, whoever it might be, are trying to force you. it really gave you guys a chance to, be able to pull back from that, go back to Boston and create something that you really wanted to do instead of trying to follow suit along with, kind of like Above Snakes, along suit of like what the Snakes Underground were trying to want you to do.
100%, dude. I moved out there like Sunset Strip, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. That's the shit I grew up on. Like, well, shit, that's where you got to go to make it. That's what you got to go do, And, we get out there and it's just like not that anymore, Don't get me wrong. I lived that shit hard, man, to its fullest. And it was great and I wouldn't take it back. But it's just not the same as like what it used to be, So that's the whole thing. We were like, let's go back to our roots in Boston, and people are a little different here. Not to knock the shit out there, but that's the thing. Everyone's trying to make it. So it's like, it's a different mentality. It's more the people that you can't stand that don't act. They're not from there. The people that are from there are fucking great. But like the people that are there trying to make it, they're the people that you fucking most of the time can't deal with. You know what I mean?
I can kind of understand that just because everyone has that sort of dream that they're trying to go after. But it's the people that are there that are trying to go after that stuff. I mean, there could be many good people in there. Don't get me wrong. The thing is, though, it's the mentality that they have where it's a competition. They're seeing everyone around them as competition. And when it comes to music as well, especially one thing we've seen, over the course of the pandemic and we've seen recently, especially within rock and metal, when bands start doing well and a new sound starts doing well, we got to let that foster. We got to let that grow because there's so many other bands that are, have like a similar sound or take influences from the bands that this other band that's really taking charge right now is influenced by. So we're getting this new sound to come through and we want to foster that. We want to see people grow and succeed because if we see people grow and succeed, the scene gets better, the other bands get better, and we all do better. When we succeed, when one person succeeds in the music industry, especially within rock and metal, with a lot of bands that are upcoming, we all succeed in that. Instead of trying to look at it as competition, look at it as more as family. So I think by you guys going back to Boston and being away from, this whole entire dog-eat-dog competition when it comes to the entertainment industry, comes to the music industry, it helps you guys foster some more of that creativity, get that passion back, and then, really get connected on something like this From Ashes to New tour.
100%, yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Hell.
So you get it. You understand. You know what I'm saying? We're right there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing this podcast for 3 years now. So I've talked to a lot of bands who've gone through a lot of different stories. And I mean, I have kind of my own story myself when it comes to doing stuff like this. So when it comes to trying to reclaim that passion, but also work with other people that want to see you grow instead of see you as competition, it helps so much when it comes to building yourself up, helping build the other people, other bands that you're working with alongside up, and building the scene up, whether it's locally, regionally, nationally, all over the world, whatever it might be. It just helps out so much.
And that's the thing, dude. This genre, like, everyone's family, man. Everyone's accepting. It's fucking great. Both of us have played across the board, different bands, different styles of music, and metal and fucking hard rock is fucking very family oriented and fucking, everyone's just like, come on, let's fucking rock, let's party. It's not that negative shit that you have as much as these other, things that we've done in the past.
Again, totally understandable. And also moving out to Boston as well. You think about the places in the United States where rock and metal have more of a prominence around there, especially within the local scenes. Look at, where you guys are in the Northeast. Look how many bands are coming out from Massachusetts, even from where you guys are, just really beginning to grow. Also take a look at like where I'm at in the Midwest. I'll go see shows and it's just, those places are absolutely packed and the crowd is going nuts. It's like, well, why is the crowd? And I see so many of the same people there too. And it's absolutely fantastic because it brings forward that whole entire family vibe. It's something where, especially once the pandemic, is still going on, but live shows are coming back, seeing those people once again for the first time in over a year, it felt like you were seeing family again. And whatever band was on stage, it didn't even matter the first show I went to that I didn't even know that who the headliner was. I had a great fucking time. That's all that mattered. All that mattered was me jumping into the pit. And right when I got hit in the face the first time, I'm like, I'm back.
We back, baby. Hell yeah.
So now kind of going a little bit more to the history as well. So now you guys are in Boston. It's 2019. You guys are forming Above Snakes, this new project. So between the time when you guys formed and the pandemic hit, what were you guys doing during that time? Because you guys, it's a brand new thing, brand new project, brand new place, especially, from where you guys were. It's, across the whole entire United States. What was that like? And then going into the pandemic when that hit, what was the mindset around there to continue to grow above Snakes and continue to help build on this, new journey that you guys are on?
Like I said before, it was kind of blessing in disguise because we got this space, right? And we both have audio degrees and stuff, and we did that in the past, went to school for it and everything. So we had a little spot in LA, but we were able to build out and make this nice big studio, recording studio here in Boston in this building that we have. So we got to do that, got very hands-on with that shit. We like to build and do everything hands-on. And then we were able to use the space also for videos and really dive into that because that's something we've always wanted to do, but never really had the outlet for, you know what I mean? To like really get in there and direct the videos. And we found a guy that was, was cool with that and fucking does great work. And we just started making videos. But I think like when the first song came out, we didn't even have the band together at that point, honestly, right?
No.
It was like super beginning. And we put Adrenaline out. Was it 2020, 2019, 2020?
No, 2020.
2020. And we didn't even have everyone. It was just the two of us. And we were like, oh, we know a couple people. Maybe we'll start getting shit going. And then pandemic, it already had hit. So we're like, well, shit, let's just put this out. And then we'll, take our time finding the band. And then the first time I think we played together was like right the day before or the fucking first music video,
yeah.
Which was the second song that we released, Never Alone. And, yeah, we just been building since, doing videos since, 3 videos since then. And we played our first show back in October with Dropout Kings, and that shit was sick. Because they're fucking killer, you know what I'm saying? They brought that shit, and that was great. And now we got this tour.
I mean, so even going to there's a lot to unpack there. And I think the big thing I want to unpack is...
Always more.
Absolutely. I think the big thing I want to unpack is the fact that you guys have your own space and that you're making, able to work and create the music videos the way you want to create them within your own space during the pandemic. And I got to say, that had to give you guys a huge advantage going forward, especially, take a look at, thinking back to, late March, April, and May of 2020. I was talking to a bunch of different bands at that time and seeing what was going on, and bands could not get together. So if new music was coming out, it's like this stuff had already been recorded, and the music videos that were coming out, it's like this stuff had already been done. But anything new, was like you were not seeing this stuff. We're not seeing that connection happen with the pandemic. So with you guys having that own space, able to basically use it the way you wanted to, and essentially not have to worry as much about the whole entire COVID restriction thing at that time because it was your space. It gave you guys such a bigger competitive advantage in terms of being able to stand out and grow during that time. Again, not a competitive as trying to compete with other bands, but competitive in terms of just competing with everyone else's attention during that time when it came to, again, everyone was sitting at home, so you guys were competing with Tiger King.
No, that shit was entertaining, man. But like it kind of hit at the right point, right? Because we went to record, like we moved back and then we went to record and then it hit. So like we already had the first batch of stuff and then we were able to do the videos for it. And then it kind of had like a lull because it was going on the first big wave and then it kind of died down. And in that time we were able to get back down with Kyle and record a whole new batch of songs, which is the last song that we just released, Nothing to Lose. And this new one that drops next Friday, the 11th, with the fucking sickest video we've done yet. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we kind of were able to do that, and it just kind of worked out that, we took advantage of being kind of cooped up. And like you said, we were able to get together. So at one point, we're like, everyone's wearing masks and we're in here building fucking walls and trying to fucking paint sets like Saturday Night Live to do the videos and shit, dude. But it was great,
And not that, but there was one thing you guys said too earlier, is that you guys have audio degrees as well. So that just adds to the whole entire, professionalism of these music videos. So yeah, they are DIY, but there's going to be some added, production to them because you guys know what you're doing in terms of the audio quality that's going to be end up putting out through these videos, how to make sure everything works together, and then just working as much as you want because, you're watching it's like, okay, does this look something that's, going to absolutely hit me with this song? Or is it a point where it's like, maybe we could do this a little bit better? You guys had the time and the ability to work within that with yourselves. On top of that, like you said, you guys had recorded this stuff and then the pandemic hit. So you guys had a batch to work with. So you weren't sitting on, and you weren't sitting and waiting. And then, kind of lulled. You guys got to be able to record more stuff again, and then, it got ramped up again, and all of a sudden, you guys are in the perfect spot for this in terms of maximizing on the potential as a new growing band during the pandemic.
Right. Shit, yeah. It does seem like it's lining up nice right now, This next video is going to come out. Then a few weeks, we hit tour. And then that shit's supposed to be insane. Probably going to be insane. And then we got another fucking dope single after that planned to come out.
Yeah.
Which we will be playing, so it's going to be sick to play that shit too.
Wait. Hold up, man. I mean, so you guys are coming out with a brand new single and a brand new video on February 11th. And then you guys are going to be having another new single coming out following the From Ashes to New tour while playing both of those songs on tour.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Oh, dear God.
Time, right? Sounds fun.
Sounds fun. I'm pretty sure all of a sudden, you guys are gonna make me want to make me make sure that I'm at these shows, like, at doors open to make sure I don't miss a minute of anything, and make sure I have to time out every single bathroom break right, so that I only go to the bathroom like at the most lull points in between each set if I have to.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be waiting in those lines.
I'll put it this way. Luckily, I know both venues that I'm like the venues I'm going to see you guys at. I know both of them pretty well, so I kind of already have it planned out.
Sick.
That's what's up.
So now, again, got to go to this new song and add on to this because I'm pretty sure by the time this podcast comes out, just given, just the other podcasts have coming out as well, it might be after the time the song comes out. So, you got me curious, especially the fact that I haven't even heard this yet. I didn't even know you guys are coming out with a new single, and there's going to be a new music video out that you guys are saying is fucking awesome. So I got to ask about this, got to give me some information on this. Not everything, just tease me a little bit, like, what can I expect on this song? What's the song called? And what can I kind of expect in this music video that's going to make me, on the day of the release, or for everyone listening to this podcast, right after they're done this podcast, going to click the YouTube link in the description of the podcast to go watch that video right then and there.
Hell yeah. It's the song is called The Broken Ones. It's kind of just like an anthem for, misfits and people that don't necessarily fit into, everyone's standards, the outcasts, everyone's got a little.
People got bullied.
Exactly. Growing up, get bullied, everyone's got a little broken pieces in them and, more than others or whatever. But, the song's for them, for us, and very anthemic rock song. And we shot it at this haunted overload place in New Hampshire, right? It's like this 2-mile walk through in the woods of like haunted shit, right? They got these huge creatures and things that they build. And then we had a lot of actors that have these insane costumes, like spooky costumes that work there and stuff, and came in and were able to do the video. And
yeah, it's almost like a horror. Like a horror type.
It's sick. It looks great.
A big looks like, a big budget. But we did it on our budget.
And there's like this huge skull, right, behind where we're playing and everything, which is very fitting for joint skulls and everything. And it just worked out that way. And we're super stoked on it. We can't wait for this shit to come out. February 11th, The Broken Ones. Go peep that shit.
And yes, the YouTube link for that video will be in the description of the podcast. You will not be able to miss out on that. Like, you don't even have to search it up. I'm going to have it down there for you, so you guys are set ready to go. But now you're talking about the fact that you shot this at a haunted place in New Hampshire, and you have a bunch of people in costumes to make it like a full-on, horror movie music video. So just by saying that, the fact that I am wearing a shirt from Cleaver Clothing, which is, known for the horror stuff, I'm a huge Motionless White and Ice Nine Kills fan. All you said,
little side note, they actually shot a video, or maybe two of there.
Yeah, I forget which.
Back in the day.
Which one?
Yeah.
Because
they're from here too, you know what I mean? Like, we grew up playing with Ice Nine back in the day, different bands and shit. So like, it's fucking sick that those guys are killing it,
So absolutely. Now I'm gonna end up like watching this music video, and now I'm gonna be like thinking about like after I get done watching it the first time to really take it all in, I'm gonna watch it a couple more times to really try and figure out, alrighty, where, like, what other Ice Nine Kills videos might have been shot here, like, so I can kind of pick it out. It's gonna be something I'm be
totally
interested in.
And I didn't even know. Like, we got there and we're filming this thing, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, fucking, Ice Nine Kills, they shot a video here a while back." We're like, "Oh shit, no way, for real." And we like looked it up and saw like a different part of the park where they did. And we're like, "That's crazy."
Who was there the other day?
Oh, Holly Madison. That Playboy chick, she lived at the Playboy Mansion, Holly Madison.
Yeah.
She was Hugh Hef's wife or whatever. she like posted a pic there in front of one of the big skulls. We're like, oh shit, we just missed her by a few days.
I mean, when you post that music video, you can also kind of add in there, it's like, yeah, Holly Madison, she was here a couple days before we shot this. You guys remember Ice Nine Kills? Guys that we've played with in the past? Yeah, they shot a music video here too, maybe a couple. So kind of add a little more to the lore of it. And also, especially with, using Ice Nine Kills fans as an example, how feverishly, into the band they are, how much they're, engulfed the whole entire horror trope as well. Myself, I really wasn't that big of a horror movie fan or horror movie kind of guy at all. Then I saw Ice Nine Kills live for one time, and that changed it. Gotcha. So now I'm like, I'm even intrigued more by this than you possibly could even like have made me intrigued by saying anything else. So on top of that, using the song's example as well, the Broken Ones, correct? I just want to get that wrong. Yeah. Talking about just what like the meaning of the song. A lot of us have gone through those points in time as well where people were trying to keep us out. We felt broken, felt alone, maybe bullied, as we were younger. And trying to be and like having an anthemic feel to rise above that, especially using horror as example as well, just kind of the visualization of people trying to bring you down and try and bring you down to a horrible place and you trying to rise above it. I mean, come on. It fits in perfectly.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the whole premise of the video, it's like a kid that gets bullied in school. It starts off him getting kind of like beat up and stuff, and he blacks out and then kind of wakes up in this place, this like haunted place, whereas it's got all these broken people that, other people might think that they're broken by looking at them and stuff, and he goes through this place and there's a headless horseman that's leading him through the way, through the woods and everything. And he sees like these bullies that were beating up on him, getting tortured by these broken one people, and then we're in there playing kind of like almost like a Land of the Lost kind of Peter Pan Hook, with the Lost Boys kind of effect, but like with like the horror aspect of it,
I can understand that. I can get behind that, especially with, to use rock and metal as an example as well, especially with bands that have a little bit more, of a niche concept in terms of like the inspiration that they take from, again, got to use Ice Nine Kills example with the whole entire horror thing. It's, you talk to people and all of a sudden it's like you say name some of the bands you like and people don't necessarily know like what your music taste is, and you start rattling off some of these bands and people kind of look at you as like a freak, as an outcast because you don't like whatever's popular at the time. And all of a sudden it's you get to go to these shows, you get to meet people that like the same kind of music you do, and all of a sudden it's everyone's embracing you as a member of the family. If you go to shows, if there's someone that's like, I've never been to a rock or metal show before, this is my first one, it's my first time seeing this band, everyone's just like, oh boy, you're gonna have a lot of fun, man. Everyone's there, happy, helpful. Guy, if some of you want to jump into a mosh pit, hell yeah, jump on in. We'll throw you in there. If you fall down, we're gonna pick your ass right back up. You want to crowd surf? Tell the people in front of you because we're gonna throw you up there. You just want to headbang with us? Hell yeah, we'll put all our arms around each other, just start going like this and having one hell of a time. So it kind of, again, it speaks to just all of us where a lot of us have gone through those moments, especially with the music that we like, where people kind of look down on us or look at us in a different way because we don't like whatever's popular at the time, man. But the people that like the same stuff that we do, that are considered the freaks, yeah, we're a family. That's what it is.
Hell yeah. Funny little side note on that, right? So I showed my mom the video the other day. I was like, yo, check this new video out, blah, blah, blah. I sent it to her. Like, no one's seen it yet, so don't post this shit. Can't be going on Facebook putting this out because, it's not out yet. It's a private link. You can, blah, blah, blah. So she goes to her thing, does her thing, and she's at this meeting with friends or whatever, something, little thing she does on the side, and she, like, shows them a piece of video, and one of the ladies, like, throwing off. She's just like, is there something wrong with your son? Like, is he not... It's like, it just doesn't seem right. She's like, no, my son's fine. Don't worry about it. It's just, people don't understand, you know what I mean? They think that we're fucking broke. They just don't get it, And that's kind of like in point what this song and this video is about.
I feel like I'm going to definitely resonate with that song as well, because starting this podcast, doing everything that I'm doing with music, I mean, there's people I know that first were looking at me, it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, are you okay? And all of a sudden, I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I absolutely love what I'm doing. I'm happier than all hell, and I'm starting to get looks from people like, dude, how's it going, man? You like, this is going well for you? Hell yeah, man. It's like, okay, now you're kind of starting to see where this is something that brings me happiness, brings me joy in life, and is something that I absolutely enjoy. For you guys, this is stuff that brings you happiness and joy in life and makes life worth living for you guys. And I mean, everyone has something that's going to make life worth living for them. And there's some things, like Rock and Metal where the mainstream that are like, oh, that might not be what we expect it to be. But hell, from what I found, it's the best thing that I possibly could have found, honestly.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And now when you guys go out on tour, you're going to be able to see that once again, fully in person with all these different places you're going to be playing, with all the different bands you're going to be playing, because, again, you're the third band from that tour package I've had a chance to talk to. And knowing from Ashes to New is, their kind of personality, their persona, knowing Kim collabs very well with their persona. And now you guys, man, I'm expecting, to hear some of these absolutely crazy tour stories from when you guys are done. It's like, I'm going to start hearing stuff like, if you guys send me emails on crazy tour stories, I'm going to ask Jonathan Norris from Kim Collapse, like, what happened on this tour? Hell, when I get to see you guys live, I'm probably going to ask you, like, okay, what's happened so far on this tour that's been, the most crazy thing? And pretty soon I'm going to end up hearing, like, one of the most ridiculous stories I've ever heard and laughing my ass off the whole entire time thinking, this is awesome, man. This is great.
Dude, we're so stoked. It's been a minute since we've been on the road, you know what I mean? But like you said, we've been itching to get back, and fucking, I couldn't think of a better tour to get back at it with, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Are you guys nervous at all to go back out on the road, especially since, this is going to be your first time really out on the road as Above Snakes and with this big of a tour? Or is it somewhere you guys are ready to go, you're prepared, and you're not worried at all?
I think we're pretty ready, honestly, having that first show with Dropout Kings to, get our feet wet and make sure, the in-ear, rig worked and everything, and just practicing a shit ton before the tour, and everything's running smoothly so far. So we're just pretty fucking stoked.
A little bit of worry, but like, that's good. You need that. You know what I mean? I think that's very important.
You kind of need, you kind of need that a little bit just to keep you a little bit more grounded and not get way too ahead of yourself.
Yeah. I feel like we're at a good point.
I do have a feeling of something that's going to happen to you guys. It's going to be that first show you play on the whole entire tour. It's going to be during the first song where it's, okay, first song, first one. Yeah, it might be a little, nervous just because it's the first one on a big tour. But all of a sudden, up on stage live, back on the road after that first song, every nerve is going to end up just going away. So by the time the second song comes in that first show of the tour, you're just going to have this like full-on locked-in feel to the show, and it's going to make every other show beyond that even better. You might have a little nerves the first time, but after that first one's over, boom, done. It's not going to happen again.
Exactly, and that's kind of how that first show was. You know what I mean? We were like, oh, shit. More so for like the gear and everything, because we're running a whole new system and new ways than what we did in the past. We found some new things and which have simplified things, but there's also a lot going on now. You know what I mean? And we were kind of nervous about that, but like as soon as we sound checked and we were up there and everything was working out nicely, we were just like, dude, this is home. We're back. Let's fucking go.
And especially opening like with your first show, like your first real show, doing it with Dropout Kings.
Dude.
My God.
Yeah. It was sick.
Yeah.
So what was the crowd like for that kind of a show? Because mostly I'm intrigued with the fact that, I want to know if I'm going to become really, really jealous of the fact that I was living in Wisconsin, or I am still living in Wisconsin at the point when you guys were playing that show, because that sounds like a show that I would absolutely have loved to have gone absolutely ape crazy at in the crowd.
It's pretty fucking sick.
It was decent. It was a smaller venue, on like a middle of the week. It was in New Hampshire, so given all of that, but other than that, it was fucking great.
Yeah.
Fucking people dig it, people were great and real receptive, and they fucking sounded amazing. It was my first time ever seeing them, so I was just stoked to fucking be playing,
I'll say now with, you guys building up a little bit of a following, you might have to follow Dropout Kings to potentially out to Vegas in October before the When We Were Young Fest to the When We Were Hungry Fest.
Yeah, what's up with that? I keep seeing some things from the, what's her name? I was posting about that, and then I was like, is this a real thing?
Oh, I got this. I know the story first. I can tell you that really quickly. So when the whole entire When We Were Young Fest dropped, and like you saw the bands that were on there, one of the bands I've had in the podcast, and they hold the record for probably the funniest band I've had in the podcast. I fell out of my chair multiple times with them on. You guys probably know them, a band called Modern Day Escape.
Yep.
So
I don't know personally, but yeah.
So they saw that, and it's like they basically were the bassist William. He created like a whole like tour poster called When We Were Hungry Fest, and it was gonna be It's like, October 21st in Vegas, day before the first day when we were Young Fest, at a Denny's. Because of the whole entire viral clip of the one hardcore band playing, they're going, "What the fuck is up, Denny's?" So they were working and like trying to like potentially like make this like a fun thing. But all of a sudden, people are starting to get behind. It's like, if you do this, like, we'll show up. So they started trying to make this a full festival. And from what I know, they're in on it. Along Came Aspire's in on it. Dropout Kings is on it. I think there's a couple others that already said, like, if you guys are doing this, you make this a festival, we're in. They're also trying to get, or I believe Attack also was like, yeah, we're in for this. They're trying to get Eskimo Callboy to come over for it as well. So, if it's going to be a full day festival, they might need, people to really get the show kicked off right.
Let's fucking do it. We're down with that shit. We always hungry.
You guys can just throw pancakes into the crowd anytime you want.
Yeah.
Have a little griddle, cooking them up, side stage,
So all of a sudden, here's Johnny up on stage just going absolutely nuts, and all of a sudden grabs a short sack of pancakes and just starts throwing them out to the crowd like this.
Yep. Little side fact, I got a culinary degree, so those pancakes will be bomb as fuck.
Fuck, I have to go out to Vegas because I'm not doing the When We Were Young Fest, but if I was for When We Were Hungry, oh yeah. If I'm already deciding, like, if We Were Hungry is gonna happen, I'm going to find my way out there for that because it is just too good not to go out to.
We'll pick you up on the way.
Yeah, you guys technically are on the way. I'd make that happen.
Yeah, catch a bus, whichever route, down a little bit, and we'll just go straight across and we'll scoop you up. We'll be good.
I'll take the train down to Chicago because if you guys are having to come through there, just meet me there.
Yep, perfect. As long as we don't go through the Canada point and fucking near there, right?
Yeah,
dude, we've had some bad experiences, to say the least.
Nah, you won't have to go through Canada. Probably just go through like upstate New York and then go through Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, get right to Chicago, and then keep going west, and then you're going on like I think it's I-80 through Iowa, and then Iowa, Nebraska, Colorado, Utah to Vegas.
Well, that was the thing. We were going to Chicago open air, right? And we were like, I don't know, weren't paying attention. It was raining out, and all of a sudden the signs are saying, "You're entering the border of Canada." I'm like, dude, what? No, we're not trying to do that shit. We're going to Chicago. What the fuck? We got mad weed on us. We got mad fucking shit. Like, no. Fucking. And all of a sudden, we're at the fucking checkpoint, right? Because there was no point to turn around at that point. So we're like, yo, sorry. We're not trying to be here. We're just trying to like turn around and get back because we're going to Chicago. We're not trying to come to Canada. And we're like, maybe they'll just let us turn around. All right, pull over there. So we pull over there and go inside, talk to them. They're like, all right, we're like, can we just turn around? They're just like, oh, well, let's check a few things. So they come out, they look at the vehicle, right? They open the stuff up. They find a taser, which is my girlfriend's at the time because she like worked at a bar, right? So she had like a taser for late nights, when she had to walk to her car in LA. And so they're like, do you have any weapons? We're like, no. They're like, do you have any firearms? We're like, no, of course not. What the fuck? We're going to a fucking festival, And they're like, well, this is a firearm. And then they found this, and then they took the vehicle inside and they fucking searched the whole vehicle. They found a bunch of weed, long story short, a bunch of all this other stuff. And then they were just like, yeah, you can't get your car back unless you pay us fucking, like $3,000 or some bullshit in fines. We're like, yo, we've already been here. And this was like, what? It was my birthday too, I think. So I had like birthday presents for my girlfriend, and they like opened them up because they were like, they thought there was drugs in them and shit. You know what I mean? So they opened all that shit. I had like a vest that I make, these leather vests, and they ripped the seams on that shit looking for like hard drugs. Because they were like, yo, he got all the weed in his name. She had the fucking weapons. What's this motherfucker got? What's this tatted up motherfucker? He's probably got the hard shit. But they didn't, none of that. But we ended up having to pay the fine. They let us turn around and we got out. But now every time we go through there, we get like a red flag.
All because of one like rainy night wrong turn, and the fact that they just wouldn't let you be like, guys, we're not trying to get to Canada. We took a wrong turn somewhere because of the rain. Can we just turn around and go back? And there's like, no. Nope. It's like, come on, let these guys go. Okay, not you're giving me, ideas to, like, if I ever travel, back. I went to school in Minnesota, so it's like if I go back there and have to go further north, make sure I watch out for border signs so I don't end up having that, because I know they'd search my car and be like, oh, great, I know there's nothing here, but I wonder what they're going to end up saying they found.
Yeah, they can fuck up your day real quick.
Yeah, and I don't want to end up paying $3,000 to get my car back, because I'm not even sure my car is worth $3,000 anymore.
But, we did write a letter after, and we were like, blah, blah, blah. We weren't even trying to be there. This bullshit. And he's got a medical card, so all that shit was legal. You know what I mean? And we ended up getting the money back. It took like 9 months, but they approved it and fucking sent us the money back. So it was just like a big headache and fucking bullshit, and a funny story to tell, to be honest. I wasn't happy at the time, you know what I mean? But we move on.
You move on, you learn, then you tell funny stories like this to me, and you make me just go like this the whole time. Because that was hysterical. However, this will be something crazy. This is not the first time I have heard a band go into Canada and get stopped and have a taser removed from the vehicle. If I remember,
and pepper spray.
If I remember correctly, it actually was Along Came a Spider. So if you guys are on the We Were Hungry Fest live, if you get on that with Along Came a Spider, you guys can share taser stories.
Yeah. That's great.
My God, that is great.
None of that on this tour.
Hopefully none of that on this tour. Just don't take a wrong turn when you guys are towards Michigan and accidentally end up in Canada again.
Yep. Or down in Arizona and Texas, you can get sketchy down there too.
That
little border thing that you.
Yeah. and then in that case, just come up, play more shows in the Midwest, and play more shows in Wisconsin or in Illinois, so that I have a nice chance to see you guys play live and just enjoy life once again like crazy. Go because live music. Woo!
Hell yeah.
So one other question before we get going on our merry way and let you guys get back to practice so you guys can be as prepared as possible for the From Ashes to New tour. So the last question I have for you guys is, again, you guys are opening up this tour. You guys are the first band that's going out there. And I got to ask, do you guys have a little surprise for us on stage so that when you guys go up on stage, that after the show, when people are going home, that when they are thinking about the show, there's a point in there where it's like, but this band that opened, Above Snakes, there was something that they did that just caught my eye, caught my ear, caught my attention. That's going to make me want to go and search up all their stuff when I get home, search up their stuff the next day, and get to know what this band sounds like, who this band is, and get to know all about them.
I don't think it's one thing. I think it's just the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Come see the show. We're going to bring it. We're a little different, Let's just have a good time and rock the fuck out.
Honestly, I think it's the best.
We'll have some crazy outfits, Few little surprises. But you got to come out and see.
I think it's the best way to put it. The whole show is going to be worth, seeing. It's going to be worth talking about. But instead of telling you about it, why don't you go buy a ticket and come and see it?
Cheers to that.
Yeah. Cheers to that. Well, Johnny Dax, as we bring this podcast to a conclusion, one thing I like to do at the end of this is give you guys a chance to say whatever you want to say, plug whatever you want to plug, promote whatever you want to promote at the end of the podcast. So, guys, right now, the floor is yours.
Check out our brand new single, The Broken Ones. Peep that video and come hang out with us on the Still Panicking tour with From Ashes to New, Blind Channel, Fire from the Gods, and Kingdom Collapse. It's just going to be fucking epic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now it's time for me to end this podcast with not one, not two, but three very specific things. First things first, The Broken Ones will be out by the time this podcast releases. You're going to want to go and watch that music video, especially if you're talking about, it's a whole haunted horror movie vibe in there. Who wouldn't want to go and see something like that? On top of that, they're going to be on tour with From Ashes to New, Fire from the Gods, Blind Channel, and Kingdom Collapse. And let me tell you, you're going to want to go and see that show. You're going to want to follow these guys on social media. You're going to want to find them everywhere. Check out their music, stream it, download it, buy some merch, whatever you can do to support these guys. You're going to want to do it, especially after this podcast and after you watch that music video. So instead of making it hard on you guys, I'm making it easy on you. Look at the description of the podcast. You're going to find links to all their socials, links to the Broken Ones music video. You're going to find links to where you can buy tickets to the Still Panicking tour. You're going to find links where you can stream, download, buy their music, buy their merch, everything about that. I'll have the links, labels, and everything down below for you, so you have no excuse not to go and do that. Again, make it as easy as possible on you guys. And if any of you guys are going out to the tour with From Ashes to New, Fire from the Gods, Kingdom Collapse, Blind Channel, of course, Above Snakes, and you're seeing the show on either March 11th or March 12th in Kansas, Wisconsin, or Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, I'll be there, so come say hi. Yeah, I'll be there. Woo! Now time for number 2, guys. So when I bring these podcasts to a close, I always like to, take a look back and wonder, did I enjoy having this guest on the podcast? And 100% of the time, the answer has been yes. You guys have definitely kept this trend up. So that means there's a promise that's coming your way. And the promise is this. This is not an if. This is a when. And it's when I get to see you guys perform live for the first time. So it will be in March. When I get to see you guys perform live for the first time, I promise you is this. I'll say this. It'll either be one of the 2 dates I get to see you guys because it's going to be back-to-back days. But the promise is this. First round's on me.
Yeah. Love that shit.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that weekend I end up going broke between everybody that I have to owe first rounds to. So I am more and more happy to do that as well because this was a fantastic podcast. I can't wait to continue to watch you guys grow, watch you guys, continue to, do good, especially in the music scene, grow with this new music, see what happens with you guys, and hopefully maybe have you guys pick me up on the way if you guys are going to play the When We Were Hungry Fest because that would be fucking awesome. So on this note, Johnny and Dex, this is not goodbye. This cannot be goodbye for a couple of reasons. 1, I am seeing you guys perform live twice in the month of March. 2, I have to make good on that promise. And 3, I'd love to be back on the podcast again sometime in the future. So this is not goodbye, my friends. No. This is see you later.
See you soon, bro. Great talk.
Well, folks, that's my interview with Johnny and Dax from the band Above Snakes. Once again, their new single, The Broken Ones, is out as of the release of this podcast. So go check out the music video because it's got a lot of horror tropes in there. So fans like, myself that really like Ice Nine Kills, Motions in White, like hard rock, like a lot of the stuff they bring out with the anthemic style, you're going to want to go check that out as well. Link description for the music video, along with every other link for Above Snakes as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever socials I can find on them. YouTube, again, that YouTube video, where you can buy some merch. You can find them online on like a website or something, where you can stream, download, buy their music as well, and also get tickets from the Still Panicking tour with From Ashes to New Fire from the God Seen Collapse and Blind Channel. You guys know I'm going to be at that tour 2 days. March 11th in Kansasville, Wisconsin, and March 12th in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. So come out, let's enjoy some Above Snakes together and have a good time. Be sure to also follow the Chord Progression Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We do a lot of crazy stuff on there, like promote this stuff, talk to you guys. Best way to get in contact is you can DM us. I'm the one that answers all the DMs, so don't be afraid to do that. Every Wednesday night on Instagram, we do a live stream, so you get to know more about that stuff. With the podcast, we're bringing on even more bands than ever before. Bigger bands. Heck, Blind Channel is going to be on here as well, so that's going to be 4 bands on that tour that are going to be on the podcast at some point in time, which is absolutely awesome. You can watch the podcast videos on our YouTube channel, or you can listen on Spotify Podcasts, iHeart Radio, and Amazon. Every link description below for you, along with the links for custom use and Phoenix Fitness. Again, links, promo codes, description below for you guys. Well, I can't wait to see Above Snakes live and go watch that music video. Links in the description below. Yes, and I'm going to act a little bit more of a sinister horror trope to kind of fit in with the vibe. Or am I talking real deep? Getting weirdly sexy in here. I don't know, but that's going to be me, guys. Thank you for watching, listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one of these episodes. The big, healthy, and hearty. See ya!